mentioned earlier, okay, try to buy the low-fat version. In fact, when I first came to Singapore like 14 years ago, when I tried to buy milk from the supermarket, I think at that time, there was only one kind of low-fat milk. There's only one brand, which is low-fat. Everything else, every other milk is full cream. But right now, okay, if you go down to any FairPrice or Cold Storage supermarket, I think it's very difficult to buy full cream milk. Most of the milk that you get from the supermarket are actually low-fat, which is a very good change. It means that we Singaporeans are getting better and better. We are telling the food manufacturers that, hey, we want low-fat products. We don't want full cream milk anymore. Give me more low-fat versions, okay? So this will take some time, but this is something that we have to request, we have to make the changes. And of course, for those who like to cook at home, use healthier cooking methods, okay? Basically, you can use any cooking methods. You can stir fry, you can bake, you can roast, you can steam. The only thing that we would not encourage you to do is basically deep frying. But remember, when you say stir frying, you really mean stir frying. I really mean stir frying, okay? Don't go and use a lot of oil and say, no, I'm not deep frying, I'm just stir frying. I mean, that is, to me, almost like deep frying, So remember, stir frying means small quantity of oil, okay? And also use a non-stick pan, try to measure out the oil and things like that. And when you prepare soup or curry or gravies, if you put inside the fridge and then you take it out the next day and you see a white layer of oil floating on top, what should you do? Heat it up and stir so you don't see anymore. No, okay? I want you to remove it, okay, and then heat it up. Don't go and heat it up because once you heat it up, it will melt and it's impossible for you to remove it. So remove it first. Don't go and stir, okay? Some of my patients are actually telling me that, never mind, once you stir, it will disappear, right? It will not, I can't see anymore. It will not just disappear like that. It will come back to you, okay? So remember, remove it, especially when it's, it's a solid white color thingy. It's very easy for you to remove. Okay, I always encourage my patients and my clients, try to avoid deep frying. But I know that this is something that a lot of you probably are not able to do because, a lot of my patients told me, I have young grandkids, they are begging me, Amma, how come you're not deep frying my favorite chicken wing? I want to eat your favorite chicken wing. Can you cook for me? So sometimes you might have to deep fry. I can totally understand, okay? But when you are deep frying, make sure that the oil has to be hot. Why? Why you have to wait until the oil is really hot, then you put your food inside? Because if your oil is not hot, you put the food inside, it's going to take you a longer time to cook the piece of food, whether it's meat or chicken or tau gua or fish, right? And the longer the food stays in the oil, the more the fat the food would absorb. So try to avoid that, okay? And once you finish cooking, once you finish deep frying, use the tissue paper or napkin to just absorb the oil. That will help you to cut down the fat. So try to do that, okay? Now, when you are eating out, okay, try, very important, remove the skin. Because once you remove the skin, you remove a lot of fat, okay? And always go for soupy noodles if possible. Occasionally, if you say, I want to eat my favorite char kway teow, okay, I think that's definitely something that we would like to enjoy. And you can actually, I think you deserve to enjoy that, maybe occasionally, but definitely char kway teow shouldn't be something that you eat every day. 38 grams of fat in one plate of char kway teow. So think about that. In terms of dishes like, curry or laksa, well, you can have laksa. You just make sure that you don't drink all the gravy. I know many of you say, I pay $5 for this laksa, okay? I must finish every single drop. But think about the bills that you're going to pay to your cardiologist later, okay? That is more than $5, I'm sure, okay? So don't try to save that $5 because you will end up paying more to buy your cholesterol-lowering medication, okay? So be careful. Now, when you eat rice, especially flavored rice, like chicken rice, nasi lemak, nasi biryani, okay. You know what I do? I also eat chicken rice. Okay, I mean, even though I'm a nutritionist, but I'm a human being too. I really enjoy good food and I love chicken rice. I don't eat it every day. And when I eat chicken rice, I always order from my uncle half-half. They already know. When I order chicken rice, they say half-half, right? I say, yeah. Okay, what do you mean by half-half? Half what? Half chicken, half not chicken. No, it's half white rice and half flavor rice. Because honestly, it's difficult to have chicken rice with just plain white rice. Because that is not chicken rice to me. It's different. I don't know what I'm eating, okay? But definitely I would not call that chicken rice. But at the same time, I'm also a bit worried about fat and the calories, you know. So that is why I compromise. I say half-half. So I actually get some of the chicken rice flavor, because sometimes when you go and buy chicken rice from outside, it's really very oily. You don't really need to eat, such an oily fried rice, the chicken rice. So you can actually mix. Most of the time, the hawker center, the storeholders are very happy when you order half-half, because it saves them money, right? White rice costs less than the chicken rice, right? Right? So you can always do that, okay? If you go and eat nasi lemak, or chicken rice, okay? Now, Singaporeans like to eat out, but it's not really that difficult. And some of my patients told me, it's so difficult to go and eat healthy food outside. Almost impossible. Don't tell me that it's impossible, because Health Promotion Board, our Health Promotion Board has done a lot of good work. Try to go and encourage our hawker center, storeholders, the food court, and also the restaurant to come out with some healthier options for those of us who really want to eat something healthier, okay? So we do have a program called the Healthy Dining Program in Singapore, okay, where, our hawker centers or restaurants are offering you healthier options. In fact, more than 200 restaurants in Singapore have signed up as what we call the healthier restaurants, They give you very healthy food. Of course, they will also have the normal, usual menu, okay? And they also give you healthy options. So you can actually pick and choose. Maybe some, your favorite, okay? Dai must have your roast duck. Fine, okay? But maybe you order steamed tofu, you order stir-fried vegetables to go with your roast duck, right? So at least you balance it a little bit, okay? So when you eat out, just look for, the healthier restaurant or the healthier hawker center, logo, and try to talk to them and ask them whether they have anything that is better for you, so you can actually have the option of choosing something which is better for your heart and better for your kidney. Now, when you talk about fat, there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of myths, okay? And I just choose two, which are what we call the frequently asked questions. Okay, a lot of my clients and patients ask me, okay, the unsaturated fat, the olive oil is good, right? The canola oil is good, right? So I don't need to restrict, right? I can just use a lot of salad dressing. I can use salad oil, the olive oil to cook. I use a little bit more, right? Can or not? Yes or no? For those who say yes, need to stay back and talk to me, because obviously you're not paying attention to me over the last 20 minutes, okay? Because I have already mentioned, yes, they are better fats because they protect your heart. But unfortunately, all fat, whether it's mono, poly, or saturated fat, or trans fat, or whatever fat, or even omega-3 fatty acids, they all give you the same amount of calories, which is 9 calories per gram. So if you are very conscious about your weight, you want to make sure that you don't gain weight, you want to maintain your healthy weight, you still need to control the olive oil. And anyway, it's so expensive, so you also don't want to use that much, okay? So you still need to control. Now, a lot of my patients also say, wow, so does it mean that the fat, I gain fat is also because I eat fat? So if that's the case, I don't use fat at all. I don't use oil to cook. I don't use butter. I don't use margarine at all, okay? Is it possible? And is that the right thing to do? Is your extra weight gain really due to the fat? Well, when you gain weight, the reason why you gain weight is because you have too many calories, extra calories. The calories can come from CPF, can come from carbo, can come from protein, can also come from fat, okay? So it's not just the fat that you need to worry, but of course, being more dense in terms of calorie, fat is always the #1 enemy. But it doesn't mean that you have to avoid fat, because, if you only eat 20 to 30% of fat, it can be part of your healthy diet. You need to have some fat. You don't need to avoid, but you just want to make sure that you don't overdo it, okay? 89 or 86 grams, that I've shown you, that is a bit too much, okay? So you can have some, but don't overdo it. Now, let's shift our focus from fat to sodium, or what we call, the salt. What is sodium? Sodium, do you know that it's actually a nutrient? It's a mineral, but it's an essential nutrient. It's very important that you must have some sodium, because sodium is actually a nutrient that helps to keep your fluid balanced, okay? And also to regulate your blood pressure, you also need sodium. And sodium also have many, many other functions. But the problem is most of us are eating too much. And when you are eating too much sodium, it tends to actually increase your cholesterol. So how much is enough? I think Dr. Lee has one slide that shows about 2.4 grams. Okay? In fact, the World Health Organization say around roughly 2,000 milligrams, which is roughly about 2 grams, which translates into roughly about 1 teaspoon of salt. I remember Dr. Lee also has that in her slide. 1 teaspoon of salt. Wow, I don't think I use that much for cooking. Who would use 1 teaspoon of salt, during cooking? That's a lot of salt, right? But how come many of us are actually eating more than that? Even though we have improved a lot, okay, because according to the health, the survey, the National Nutrition Survey conducted in 2004, it shows that only 36% of Singaporeans add salt or soy sauce or whatever sauces at the table, compared with 60.2% in 1998. So it's already improved, but still not good enough. Why do I say not good enough? Okay, let's look at a typical Singaporean diet. The same thing. Breakfast, roti prata, lunch, wonton noodles, and then curry puff, and then fried rice. How much sodium are we getting? You get almost 1,500 milligrams from your wonton noodle. You get another 1,200 milligrams from your fried rice. So when you add together, it's 3,334 milligrams. What is the recommended level? Or what is the recommended allowance for most of us? Is how many milligrams? 2,000. I think Singaporeans, we really have this kiasu attitude. We want to be number one in everything. Did you read the Straits Times today? Singapore Airlines is number one. It's the number one airline. We are very proud. We want to be number one in everything. But I guess you probably don't want to be number one in sodium consumption, right? I mean, that is not something that's so proud, that we should be very proud of, okay? So the problem is we are eating too much, more than what we are supposed to have. Supposed to have 2,000, we have 3,300, okay? The average is even higher for the Chinese population. Among all the 3 major ethnic groups in Singapore, Chinese has the highest amount of sodium consumption. I'm not surprised. How many of you, the Chinese sitting here, like to eat preserved vegetables, giam hee, giam cai, giam ma? Or everything is salt cured? I'm not surprised that it's more than 3,300, okay? But sodium, does it mean that sodium is just salt? You will not get any sodium if you don't use salt at all. Okay, I don't use salt, I use soy sauce, right? No sodium, right? Right? No, sodium is found everywhere. It's not just in salt, okay? Let me tell you where you can find sodium. You can actually find sodium in anything, in any food that you put inside your mouth, including the bottled water, which I'm going to drink later, okay? They also have sodium. But sodium, you must have some, and fresh foods usually have less sodium, okay, than the processed food, okay? So if you eat your, let's say, your orange, you eat your egg, look at the fresh foods. Your egg, your orange, your chicken drumstick, okay, the fresh one. The vegetables, very low in sodium. One whole cucumber, only 30 milligrams. Nothing, that is nothing. You can have 2,000, 13 is nothing. Egg is only 70. Orange is only 3, nothing, right? But the problem is we don't just eat fresh foods. We also eat a lot of processed food, okay? Tang cai, that is something that we always add when we stir fry, when we steam fish, right? 1 tablespoon is already 333. 1 can of tuna fish is 415. And I don't even want to go into salted fish. 1 tablespoon stir fry. Stir fry rice? I love chao fan. Stir fry rice with salted fish and chicken? Well, 207 milligrams. I should cut down, okay? Even cheese, okay, is quite salty also. But most of us get our sodium from seasonings. 1 teaspoon of salt, 2,000. 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 365. 1 teaspoon of MSG, 615. 1 teaspoon of tomato sauce or chili sauce, roughly about 50 milligrams. Now, you may tell me, okay, Pauline, from now on, I don't use salt at all. I use soy sauce. Because soy sauce only 365. I should be very safe if I use soy sauce, right? The problem is when you use salt, you use less than 1 teaspoon, maybe just 1/8, 1/4, right? But when you use soy sauce, how many spoonfuls you use? You're not using 1 teaspoon, okay? I tell you, you use 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. So 3 teaspoons, 3 times 365 is not low anymore, okay? Okay, so remember, okay, try to go and reduce the usage of your salt and soy sauce. Always taste the food first, okay? I think a lot of Singaporeans has this very bad habit. When you go and eat wonton noodle, let's say you go and eat wonton noodle at food court,